Okay, if everybody could please take your seats. Good morning. The July 11th Board of Directors meeting is called to order. First, I'd like to ask our interpreters to explain how to access interpretation. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Announcement from the interpreter. To use the interpretation feature, please scroll to the bottom of the Zoom screen where the meeting controls are. Click on the interpretation icon, World, and select English as your language. If you're joining through the Zoom mobile app, cell phone, tablet, etc., please press the ellipsis, then interpretation, and then choose your language. Finally, click on Mute Original Audio to not hear the original Spanish flow in the background. Headsets are available for interpretation. If you're in the meeting room, please check out a headset from the receptionist in the lobby. Buenos días, aviso por parte del intérprete. Para hacer uso del servicio de interpretación, favor de desplazarse a la parte inferior de la pantalla de Zoom, donde aparecen los controles. Haga clic en el icono de interpretación globo terráqueo y seleccione Spanish, español. Si está utilizando la aplicación móvil de Zoom, celular, tableta, etc., presione los puntos suspensivos, luego interpretación y luego el idioma. Si no desea escuchar el audio original en inglés en el fondo, por favor seleccione Mute Original Audio, silenciar audio original. Contamos con auriculares disponibles para el servicio de interpretación. Si se encuentra en la sala de reunión, favor de pedir auriculares con la recepcionista en el vestíbulo. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the land that we call home. The tribal nations of the San Diego region have historically faced injustices. We acknowledge the harmony that existed between the land, nature, and its original peoples, who have since endured displacement, persecution, and systemic oppression. We pay our respect to the unceded territory and homelands of the 18 tribal nations in our region, the most in any county in the United States, from 4 cultural groups, the Kumeyaay, the Digueño, the Luceño, the Copeño, and the Cahuilla. This land has nourished, healed, protected, and embraced them for many generations in a relationship of balance and harmony. As members of the SANDAG community, we acknowledge this legacy. We aspire to learn from Indigenous traditional knowledge and experiences in undoing the injustices of the past. Now, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Michael, can you please confirm quorum?
Yes, we have a quorum, Chair, with City of Vista absent and City of Santee.
All righty, let's begin with non-agenda public comment.
As a reminder, no comment shall use loud, threatening, profane, or abusive language that disrupts the orderly conduct of the meeting. Disorderly conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the board meeting is prohibited. Per our board policy, the amount of time allowed for each verbal public comment is determined based on the number of agenda items, the complexity of those items, and the number of items anticipated to offer comment. This allows us to hear from as many people as possible and to complete our business while we still have a quorum. So based on those factors, the chair has determined that today's meeting, each member of the public will be allowed 2 minutes for their comments. And Chair, right now we have 10 in-person public comments.
Okay, we'll take them all.
And then there's a few that are joined online. So first is B. Mittermiller, followed by allegedly Audra.
Good morning, Chair Huebner and board members. My name is B. Mittermiller, and I'm a volunteer with San Diego 350. Today, I urge the board to focus on including all strategies to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions in the plan. In 2021, the reductions did not meet the required level, and only due to rounding was the plan able to satisfy CARB's requirement of a 19% reduction. CARB has notified the board that it will not allow rounding up again. My daughter, her husband, her week-old baby, and 2-year-old evacuated to my home from Los Angeles this past January to escape the Eaton fire. Their experience is one that I wouldn't wish on anyone. Fear, an uncertain future, and unimaginable expenses that their insurance won't cover. And their nightmare continues indefinitely. We are running out of time to reverse course on climate change. It is no longer a problem somewhere else in the world. We have fires in our own county during winter months. We have rising sea levels that erode our beaches and cliffs. We have heat waves in the winter months and soaring temperatures in the summer. The laws are clear, and this board has the power to make a difference if only you would agree that the time for decisive planning and action has come. Thank you for your attention.
Next is allegedly Audra, followed by Cesar Javier.
Before Evelyn, or can you have Evelyn go after me?
I'm sorry, I'm just,
Who did you want to go first, Audra? Who do you have next, Michael?
we can go Evelyn after allegedly Audra.
Thank you for mitigating that. So I already talked to the executive committee, but this is extremely important for all of you guys to pay attention to, and especially the mayor of La Mesa. What is going on with CPS and child welfare services, it's a child predator service where they come and they kidnap your children. And what is happening is these children are being taken and put into foster care where they're being sexually abused, they're being physically and mentally abused as well. And nothing is being done about it. In fact, it's being hidden in the county of San Diego because it does put a stain on the county agency. And the problem is that it's not just a San Diego problem. This is a systemic problem. I don't even know that it's a problem. It was designed like this. It's a child trafficking organization. It has nothing to do with protecting children. And anybody that has a child should be terrified that that could happen to them. And it's sad because these caseworkers act like they have empathy for people, but they don't, because they sit there and I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched a child be ripped apart from its mother or father while they're being put in a county vehicle and then being told that you're manufacturing the crying of the child, right? Or you could be a mother who reports sexual abuse, and that's why you need to be listening to Evelyn as soon as I'm done speaking, and then have that be put on you like you did it. Oh, while the county, when you were reporting it, wanted to hide it, but then they'll bring it up, do an investigation into you, say that you did it to your own child. Then when you come again and you have a visit with your child and actually there's another report that comes forward, you know what they do? They bury it because they work with Children's Rady's Hospital. And when you partner with somebody, you can omit information and allow a report to say or do whatever they want in order to hide things, because it doesn't look good when there's sexual abuse going on when you're saying that you're protecting children, right? And it would behoove you guys to think about what that would be like if it was you and you had to be torn apart from your child days of the week, whatever it is, and be told that as long as you do this, you'll get your child back. Then it doesn't really matter because you do it. And you know what? They make the goalpost even further back. There's a problem and you guys need to be addressing it in each of your communities.
Thank you. Next is Evelyn Lopez, followed by Cesar Javier.
Going to be following up with Audra. I am the mother of two little girls, a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. They were taken from me not because of abuse or neglect, but because I had postpartum and they're using that against me. Another thing, April 10th, we went to the ER, Rady's Children's Hospital, and my oldest, my 3-year-old, had a UTI, which 3-year-old, do you guys know has a UTI, right? No one, right? All right. And now we went to the ER 2 days ago for the same problem. And since April 10th, I didn't call the cops, and this time I did around. They're flipping April 10th on me and saying that I'm the one that assaulted my 3-year-old. Wow. Amazing, huh? So I'm the predator, not them. And now my kids are suffering again, and they're with the same caregivers that that this happened last time. Why? Why are they allowing my kids to go back to the abusers? Oh, because you guys don't care about children at all, unless it was yours, right? Only your kids matter, your grandkids matter, but other people's kids don't matter, right? Because it's just money. Yeah. And you know what? Like, I'm tired of staying quiet. And every time I speak up, it's retaliation against me. But you know what? This is my kids. These are my kids' life, and they matter. All right? So you guys can retaliate all you guys want. I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I'm going to speak up. These are my children on the line, and I want them back home. Thank you.
Next is Cesar Javier, followed by Purita Javier.
Closer.
Hello, I'm Purita, victim of ceramics toxicity. Value analysis. Number one, Decor City with 6B projected expenditure for 2026 has approved the renewal of the hazardous home business task permit located, constructed, and operated, and even altered in a neighborhood dedicated R1 single-family home residential zone. City treasurer and supervisor Rosell explains that her office has no regulatory standard. City code enforcement declares her office has nothing to do with permit. We as city municipal code about home business through city records, and the literature explains all about ADUS. We asked help by coincidence in December of 2022 from Council Luqadda, then chair of Environment Committee, and his gentlemanly response was, he will talk to Councilor Rivera. That would be 3 years, 7 months by now. Councilor Rivera, then council president and our District 9 assigned leadership responded by declaring in his letter.
You follow the law,
Thank you. Time has expired.
please.
Yeah.
Next,
Yeah,
that was Purita Javier. Let's follow by Cesar Javier.
Thank you, SANDAG. This is an intellectual arena. We are gladiators. One will be a casualty, or both. Starring Councilor Rivera, our District 9 assigned leadership. City Heights Community Development Center declared our community poor. We do not agree with it. We are poor, and yet the city allowed the location, construction, and operation of a hazardous business. We found out that Councilor Rivera, who lives before the campaign for councilorship, he was residing at City Heights. When he won, he moved to a better community we call Kensington. You know what? There is another ceramics business there in the neighborhood. And so he said, thank you for reaching me, asking me to help you, Mr. Javier. We will ask the Air Pollution Control District about this. Without telling us, oh, don't worry, we will solve your problem because I am the governing board member along with the mayor. What did you do, Mayor Gloria? Good, you are not here. What did you do, Councilor Rivera? Good, you are not here. But Councilor Luqadda, who is the chair environmental, by golly, you are accountable, including this Councilor Lee. You know, the community planning group, they do
Thank
not
you.
want
Your time
us.
has expired. Just clarify the record that Chula Vista and Vista are present, And Poway, Lamesa, and Santee are absent. Next is Casey Gupta, followed by Alan Grilly.
Hi, SANDAG board. My name is Casey, and I'm a high school student who depends on transit to get to school, work, and see my friends. I'm going to be really clear here. SANDAG has failed us. We cheered when the multi-billion-dollar Mid-Coast trolley extension finally arrived. But what good is new track if you still wait 15 minutes or more? Basic frequency and reliability shouldn't be luxuries. They're lifelines for students trying to make to class to time, for parents rushing to evening shifts, and for seniors on fixed incomes who can't afford endless waits. We want a future of a city where transit works for everyone. Vice Chair LaCava, you're my council member, and Chair Huebner, I'm calling you out personally. Your decisions, or your lack, therefore, of, are costing us precious hours and deepening inequality across the region. Every minute spent waiting at a stop is a minute taken from homework, for caring for loved ones from rest. It's not just an inconvenience, it's a barrier that holds dreams hostage. We demand 7.5-minute trolley service by 2029, 10-minute buses on our busiest routes, and all-door boarding to speed every trip, and real-time accountability so we know that you're listening. We demand permanent youth passes, true bus-only lanes, expanded signal priority, and a bike share that actually serves our communities. Listen to us, honor our voices, deliver these 10 demands, and give us the frequent, affordable, and equitable transit network we deserve. Thank you so much for listening. Let's make real change before I have to leave San Diego.
Next is Alan Grilly, followed by Christopher.
Hello, my name is Elena Grilly, and I am a 17-year-old volunteer with San Diego 350. I'm here to voice my concerns with SANDAG's 2025 Regional Transportation Plan. When I was born in 2007, the global average temperature had already risen 0.6 degrees Celsius from pre-industrial levels. Today, that number was 1.55 degrees in 2024. I simply do not know what it's like to live in a world where the future is secure and the earth is clean, where the transportation that is supposed to connect communities isn't instead condemning them to a world of air pollution and once-in-a-century wildfires that seem to happen more often every single year. And put simply, the greenhouse gas reductions specified in the 2025 Transportation Plan are inadequate to address the climate crisis. A 19.3% reduction is barely going above the bare minimum of what SANDAG needs to do, and this number needs to be increased to help address this crisis. We know the solutions. Investment in mass transit and active transportation have the power to uplift communities and drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions. What we need is the political will. Not highway expansions masquerading as managed lanes or active transportation projects that are delayed until 2050, but instead a sustained commitment to increasing funding for transit. Public transit is a climate solution, and I urge the SANDAG board to begin treating it like one.
Next is Christopher, followed by Emma Weibel.
Hello, I'm Chris Roberts. I live in Carmel Valley and I volunteer for San Diego 350. We're a climate justice organization. By the way, I bicycled to today's meeting. The bike parking for visitors is atrocious and it's dangerous with all the cars whipping around the parking lot, FYI. Thank you, SANDAG staff, for the excellent 2025 Regional Plan public meetings. We attended on Wednesday. It was a very productive meeting. We really thank SANDAG staff. The 2025 plan fails to meet the needs of our climate crisis. For example, the plan has 61 highway projects and only 35 new bus lines. Cars and light trucks are the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in our county at 35%. Let's change the plan to add, say, 61 new transit projects and only 35 highway projects. The draft plan, as B mentioned, meets the CARB mandate of 19% at 19.3%. Greenhouse gases are exploding around our planet. Temperatures are rising very quickly. Increase the reduction to 25%. We also demand that the weighted vote be used when approving the 2025 regional plan. Use of the unweighted vote shifts badly needed resources away from our underserved communities. This has resulted in a sorely inadequate public transit system. Thank you, SANDAG staff and Board of Directors, for all your hard work.
Next is Emma Weibel, followed by Truth.
Good morning. My name is Emma Weibel. I'm a 17-year-old from La Jolla, and I'm here today to voice my concerns about the 2025 regional plan. Growing up in San Diego has had its perks. I mean, how can you beat being able to walk to the beach after school? However, living in the old 858 also means being forced to be almost entirely car dependent. It means having to choose between safety and sustainability because of insufficient bike infrastructure. And it means having to watch communities and our environment be constantly trampled by endless highway expansion. We know that we need to rapidly cut our emissions in every sector, and transportation makes up the most significant part of the county's greenhouse gas emissions. We need a regional plan that is ambitious, aiming for more than just a 19.3% reduction in emissions. The San Diego of the future is one where people are not forced to make the less sustainable choice because taking transit adds an hour to their commute. We need an accelerated timeline for transit expansion and an end to highway expansion, which means we cannot make a new toll lane under the guise of expanding bus rapid transit. I've called San Diego home for almost my entire life, which is why I want to see our city thrive as an accessible and sustainable metropolis. I urge the board to be ambitious in its 2025 regional plan because we don't need officials that continue to uphold an unjust status quo. We need officials brave enough to make the dramatic changes we need to ensure a better future for everyone. And I really hope that this board is brave enough to make those changes for my future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Truth. The online public comments of Paul the Bold, Blair Beekman, and Consuelo will take your comments at the end of the meeting. The last public comment right now is Truth.
Believe it or not, the most out-of-touch, psychotic thing I ever heard at a SANDAG meeting was Carolina Chavez saying on August 28th, there's going to be fresh air for IB. She's so out of touch, she repeated the old line about beaches open versus what's actually needed. Clean air that's safe to breathe, so people like myself won't get hydrogen sulfide poisoning anymore. And again, Mexico is not our friend. They don't even want Americans living in their country. Everybody knows the cartel paid for rioting and looting of American expatriate businesses in Mexico, as well as the simultaneous riots in California as a form of retaliation for the ICE raids. So why is SANDAG building this enemy a border crossing? Close it as punishment. And hopefully everyone read the iNews Source article on National City Affordable Housing being a cash machine for San Diego County political unions, because it revealed just the tip of the iceberg as to why we have corrupt people at the state level pushing these expensive stack of packs upon our communities. No wonder National City was pushing Union Tower, union so hard. The San Diego County Building and Construction Trades Council has reportedly been operating as a slumlord while funneling their big profits to their candidate minions like Todd Gloria, Catherine Blakespear, and Paloma Aguirre, all people that have done immense damage where they were. These slumlords also collected big checks at the expense of the residents of the complex, forced to live in unsanitary conditions. Benefiters included people on councils like Matthew Leyva Gonzalez, who failed to report that income. So disappointing. The Citizens United case wanted us distracted on corporations rather than on the nonprofits and unions. So I ask SANDAG again, end PLAs now. Benefiting the big political union action committees is no different than benefiting big corporations. SANDAG needs to stop contributing to political campaigns. We know that's why there were so many unnecessarily expensive projects here. It only benefited the unions and those paid for by the unions. And what's not covered in that article are the union's binational connections. Now that would be even more revealing and explain why there has been a border bias at SANDAG and many other local agencies. Thank you.
That concludes our non-agenda public comment at this time. The remaining comments will be taken at the end of the meeting.
Very good. Any non-agenda member comments at this time? I see Ms. Maxon on the board.
Good morning. I wanted to thank Mr. Orso and his staff for quickly putting together in-person draft 2025 regional plan meetings for the unincorporated area. We have one coming up on Monday up in Valley Center and a second one in Hamul on Tuesday. Inspired by this, the unincorporated area through the APG has asked for a meeting with Mr. Orso, and we have that scheduled for July 30th. So thank you very much. This was not a plug for his CEO review later on. These were things to say. We also, the Association of Planning Groups, we lost a founding member of our association, Billie Jo Janin. She was a very vocal advocate for the unincorporated area. She was an award-winning journalist, and she was a treasure for the county. So we are sad to hear that Billie Jo Janin had passed away. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will also at this time share some other sad news. We lost another member of our elected representative community. Sadly and tragically, Councilmember Steve Fayai of Lemon Grove recently passed away. We are very sorry for this loss to our region, to the city of Lemon Grove, and to his friends and family. So let's just take a moment right now to mourn both of these folks. Okay, Mayor Jones.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to, and I brought this up at the executive committee, I wanted to ask for a full timeline to be brought forward or maybe contained within our executive director's report as to the status of the 2025 plan, when we will be putting that out for public review, and then when we are likely to be approving that. And if it changes, that we would receive further updates as that goes along, just because I think it's important for us to have all that information out there. And then also have something on our SANDAG website on the home landing page so that people can find out more about it in a timely and easy manner. It's kind of hard sometimes to navigate websites if you're not familiar with how, board of directors, where would you find that and that sort of thing. And then I have brought this up several times. I do know that the San Diego County Tribal Association will be looking at this, but I wanted to put a request that we have convert the San Diego County Tribal seat and then also the county planning seat to voting members. So that would be the end of my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I also want to let members know that we're reaching out to our state legislators to schedule in-district meetings in July and August, so we could actually be face-to-face with our legislators and share with them what our priorities are and make sure that they are actually representing us up in Sacramento. So staff will be in touch with the details as we finalize the schedule. I know many of us will be on break, but hopefully you can take a break from your break for these very important meetings. We'll be inviting you to join the meeting with the legislators who represent your districts. I'm hopefully going to be attending all of them. I'm looking forward to these important discussions and really do hope that you'll join us. I'll now turn it over to Mario for his update.
Thank you. Good morning. I hope everybody had a very nice holiday. Happy 4th. Good morning. I hope everybody had a very nice holiday weekend. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend the U.S. Consul General celebration in Tijuana for the 4th of July. And this was allowed us to have several good conversations. Consul General did confirm that the ambassador will be in town next week, and they requested a tour of the Otay Mesa East Port of Entry project. I want to take a moment to welcome two personnel pieces of information. I want to welcome our Senior Director for Internal Controls, Shanae Pickney Forrest. Shanae, are you in the room? Welcome. Shanae comes from the audit committee, was also before. She has an extensive curriculum in auditing experience, and this new role is a continued effort for us to increase our guardrails and our accountability, and as well as transparency. So happy to have you in the team. Thank you. With mixed feelings, I do want to announce and thank our Director of IT, Raj Kayajanching. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your last name, Raj. We're always just talking as Raj. Raj came to us from Rivian. the company that builds those electric vehicles, and he did a great job checking our IT security projects and bringing us to this new facility in a very smoothless way. Raj, we want to thank him for his endeavors. The private tech sector came back to entice him with a very good offer. So I don't know if Raj is in the room. I think he's not. So I want to thank Raj for all his efforts and his dedication during his time here at SANDAG. We will be transitioning to new agenda management system called eScribe. Some of your cities use it. The agendas and reports are going to look a little bit different, but it brings some benefits. The public will be able to submit written comments online. The videos will be bookmarked, so you could go specifically to the item that you want to see the video and the conversation that happened. Any questions you would have about this, please let us know and we can provide you more info on it. The Regional Early Action Planning Program 2.0. SANDAG has been advocating for the extension of RIP 2.0 program together with CalCalc and other NPOs. The good news is the state recently approved a 6-month extension on this. So SANDAG staff will be working with your staff at the cities to amend the Housing Acceleration Program grant agreements to reflect this extension. So that's good news there. Project updates on the Bayshore Bikeway, Barrio Logan segment. This weekend, tonight, pretty much, the crews will be removing the pedestrian bridge at Harbor Drive and 32nd Street. Construction will replace the bridge with street level crossing that connects the new Barrio Logan Bikeway segment with Bayshore Bikeway. The goal is to increase safety, accessibility, and pedestrians and bikes. Project is federally funded and must comply with ADA accessible rules. The Navy has been a partner in this project, and we really appreciate all their support and their engagement. The public can expect some delays during this night closures that we will be having, and we will also have temporary striping for the pedestrian crossing while the crossing is being built. Regarding the Elvira to Morena stabilization, construction crews began the initial site clearing work last week in preparation for beginning the stabilization work that is foreseen to begin next week. The crews installed K-rail along Santa Fe Drive to protect the work area. This is a one-lane closure street where there be signal controls for the one-way travel in this area for 600 feet. As I mentioned, the stabilization work, driving piles and beams, is expected to begin next week. So please be alert in this area. On the Lausanne realignment, as we mentioned in the last meeting, SANDAG plans to do geotech testing later this summer. There's been a lot of questions about the geotech studies and where are they. We are looking at a northern alignment, and it would also be included, but all these geotech studies require permits. So we're working on the permitting for all the different alternatives. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we're fulfilling our commitments to look at other alignments based on the public comments that we have received. Regarding the regional plan, the regional plan has had multiple sessions. The last one that we had for public comments was the regional central one in San Diego, where we have about 80 people attending. The final learning session is going to be on the unincorporated areas, focusing on that online on July 16 at 5:30. But as it was mentioned, we will also have in-person meetings at the Valley Center at Hamu Dusura Community Planning Group meetings next week. I want to make stress that our final days to receive comments will be July 18th. The next milestone will be the public reading of the RTP, and the RTP is expected or will come for approval in December. But in between, we have an environmental document, and there will be a couple of checkpoints that we will be bringing. And Mayor Jones, we will gladly provide the exact timetables for that. On an audit update, well, we have completed about 160 of the recommendations. We had about 252 around September. We have about 100 to go. This does take a significant amount of resources, but we're working through them. And now with our internal controls director, hopefully we'll even have more focus on this. And finally, SANDAG just received 2 new awards from the American Planning Association statewide, the California chapter. This is to add the ones that we received from the San Diego chapter. And they were Merit Award for Regional Resilience Framework and Planning Excellence Award for Housing Acceleration Program. So congratulations to our planning department. That's a testament of how hard our SANDAG staff works on bringing items here to the region and resources to the region. That concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you. All right, we'll now move to the consent agenda. Michael, how many public comments do we have?
We have 3 in person and 2 online. So
Okay.
first up is Truth, followed by Cesar Javier. Please identify what topic you're speaking to, what item.
Item 2, the minutes under non-agenda has Robin Joy Maxon's name misspelled. It's missing the S. I approved of Dane's lone no vote on the TDA tax dollars, and I continue to see a pattern of Oceanside, Poway, and La Mesa, for the exception today, not having a very good attendance record. Item 3, AB 259, I have mixed feelings about public accessibility to teleconference locations. A representative personally chose to participate from isn't really necessary or realistic, but there does need to be transparency on where a representative is teleconferencing from. What if a corrupt rep participates from a building next door? What if it's from another state on a trip they didn't get city approval for? What if they were outside and they were protesting and then came back in? We can make privacy exemptions for people's home addresses, but we should not leave loopholes in transparency. And AB 655, anything by David Alvarez, the clown is absolutely bad. Just ignore him. No to the state's useless California-Mexico Border Council, who has nothing to show for their existence anytime, past, present, or now. And I believe that was the one where I saw that they were holding meetings in Mexico City. And I think we're the ones paying for everything. Maybe the meeting should just be here. Speaking of which, why did the Borders Report omit Mexico's riots and looting against Americans in their absolutely lawless country? And for the anti-Trumpers or the people with the TDS, Newscom was proposing deep cuts to social services and Medi-Cal, and yet there's no cartel-funded communist riots over that. Sean Duffy was demanding Los Angeles MTA spending on safety, security, and fair evasion, and that is what needs to happen to MTS and NCTD. It was actually the U.S.-Mexico Binational Bridges and Borders Crossing Group being in Mexico City on infrastructure that ours works, but Mexico's doesn't. And I like that SANDAG admitted going behind IB's back to collude with Steve Padilla to hijack SB 10. Oh, and with Paloma, of course, to continue to make fake solutions and have the real ones be political campaign footballs at best. Thank you.
Next is Cesar Javier, followed by allegedly Audra.
Cesar Javier, on minutes. Thank you, SANDAG. We saw our name, and it reflects and remembers again and again our intense voice calling for abatement of a misplaced, wrongfully constructed, wrongfully operated in a residential zone designated community, District 9 of City of San Diego. On the review board, we could only make humble recommendation. Please incentivize public participation. How many are here trying to help you bring about our concerns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against you for intellectual combat, if I may describe it. Number 2 recommendation, please, let's have a policy that NGOs, heavy than politicians. I'm sorry, Sir Duncan, you are an exemption. I'm sorry, Ma'am, from San Marcos and from Oceanside, you are exemption. Good, better, best, my moral estimate. And let's have some kind of magnet for the IPA representative there on the building there. IPA office, federal. IPA California, where are you? Air Pollution Control District, where are you? On number 4, yes, we do our share. Oh, SANDAG, we were there at the US-Mexico border meeting yesterday. No city, kings and queens, only peons from District 8. Councilor
Thank you.
Lacaba.
Next is allegedly Audra, followed by Blair Beekman online.
You guys are interesting when you take a moment of silence for somebody who's passed. Have you ever done that for children who have committed suicide in the CPS system? Because they were put with like an abuser? Probably not, right? Because that wouldn't matter. No need to, protect our future. It makes me wonder what you guys do, why you do this, if it's like to help a future generation. But I mean, if we're screwing over future generations, what are we really doing here? What's the point of really doing any of these things? And you guys love money so much, so it makes me think, like, wouldn't you want to cut the funding for CPS and like adoptions, like ASFA, the Adoption and Safe Families Act, the one that, you get paid a pretty penny to put children with other families. You guys could take that money and who knows, go and lobby for it and say, we need that. We need that to enslave the people in San Diego, because you guys are good at doing that. But it's sad because, like, with the legislative stuff, I mean, who would be willing to bring forward Nancy Schaefer's bill about protecting children, right? She got murdered for it, her and her husband. I mean, they said it was a murder-suicide, but we know what happens when you're, trying to really protect children. They just murder you. So I'm sure one day you guys will maybe acknowledge me for being murdered for doing this. Who knows? And then you'll just be like, thank God she's not here anymore. But yeah, it's a lot of money that goes towards trafficking children. And just wondering, when people are actually going to care about that kind of stuff. Because it's like, there's really no point in doing anything that you guys are doing here until you really mitigate that stuff. Because, like, I mean, what kind of future do we have to look forward to? A fucked up one, right? Yeah, and I'm using language that shouldn't be used. But children are being abused right now in the county of San Diego. It's really disturbing that it's like any business can go on until something is done about that. Because it's like, I mean, again, you'll sit and take a moment of silence for somebody who's passed, but what about the children suffering right now? Let's take a moment of silence for them.
Next is Blair Beekman online, followed by Consuelo.
Hi, Blair Beekman. To speak to the consent calendar meeting minutes on the last agenda, you spoke to Cycle 13 program project funding issues. And I think part of that included the a few LoSAN projects, like I mentioned earlier about double tracking for the future, possibly. And I mentioned earlier the importance that I think we can really concentrate on just what a little bit of double tracking does at this time. And from there, really better judge if double tracking for the whole area is needed in the future. I think that's a serious question that has to be considered, and it's not enough. And I hope we can be. In the other LoSAN corridor comments, in the comments of the CEO today, I was interested also the most northern rail line. It isn't enough talked about. It doesn't have enough visual presentation around it. I think it avoids the lagoons the most and avoids the homes most. There's an issue of safety involved, though, still, that I hope can really be explored. If that safety question is answered, then it may easily be the best line. And I hope we can talk more about that, and that can be a more open conversation. I also wanted to mention from the CEO's words, thank you. It's always nice to hear he is having meetings with people in Mexico City, meetings in Tijuana. I'm very much concerned of what has been happening in Mexico City, and it's been my feeling the way to address such an issue. It's not just Americanos and gringos, it's the real estate market, the realtors themselves, and in places like Tijuana who are pushing, building prices and room rents to be really more and more expensive. And it's mixed income ideas that we're working on here in California over the next few years. If we work on that with Mexico, I think will be really important. Thank you for truce words. Also, let's do this well. Thank you.
Thank you. Time has expired. Next is Consuelo, followed by Paul the Bold. Last public comment.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's see. So, consent, let's see. When you analyze how many people have been genuinely helped by this AI data and equity programming, the number is dismal. And the reality is that, actually, before I speak on the calendar item, I just wanted to address the scripted students because it's really bothering me that they were brought here earlier today to cheer on policies that are ultimately going to enslave their future. And you know what? I don't blame them. They're young, not quite all there, but let me remind them and anyone using them as political props that they are not the majority. Every teenager I know can't wait to drive. They're dreaming of their first car, their freedom, their independence, and not being locked into mobility as a service. Tracking apps and 15-minute control grids designed to be disguised as progress. It's disgusting that you guys use children, and that's bothersome. And I'm going to refrain from cussing. Okay, so back to the item. So let's see. Housing is still inaccessible. AI still reflects bias, only now it's programmable bias. Solutions are just new tools to reinforce the same hierarchies. And all this smart policy keeps the privileged protected and the rest scrambling. We still have homeless camps across the region. We still have poisonous government-approved solutions being pushed on the public. So, I mean, yeah, talk about living in primitive times. Now you're talking about more like thieves, and yeah, there's no support for the people who didn't choose to be displaced or failed by the system. See, when does the full service get restored? It won't.
Time has expired. Next is last public comment, Paul the Bold.
Paul Bold, meetings and events. The NARC Conference on AI, Housing, Equity, and Other Statistical Horrors is really, if you analyze it in terms of how many people it's actually helped, as opposed to a handout now and again, or housing that is too damn hard to find or get in a timely manner, or AI, which is slightly more useful than a cop's guess based on his instinct knowledge in the community he or she serves, except AI can be rigged to point the finger at whoever's in disfavor right now. Anyway, still prejudice, finger-pointing, people-kept privilege, and the convenient underclass, homeless all over, and by the way, plenty of poisonous patent medicines and government-approved toxicity. Not sure if we really left the 1800s behind. Hope you saw things from the other side, Mayor Ron. The Lausanne meeting sounds worse and worse. More temp services and bag fees. Are there any free bag services for what is not the traveler's fault? So when will full service be restored? In fact, hope there was a briefing on the service. Good news, maybe? Pack stuff. Rubio's bill extending the operation of teleconferencing and public meetings is good. I think it should be permanent. San Diego County is too big an area for every person in the county to show up here if he or she wants to. As for AB 655, I think it's a dumb idea to have one more U.S.-only committee using up our tax dollars when faced with the binational problem. With all of those agencies, there will be a lot.
Time has expired. That concludes our public comment on this item, Chair.
Thank you, Michael. Any board member comments on consent? I see now may have a motion to approve consent, please. Second, motion by Anderson, second by Sanchez. Please use your devices to vote. La Mesa. No. Oceanside. Yeah. Alrighty, that passes unanimously from those present. All right, we're now going to move to closed session and we'll take public comments on items 5 and 6 together. Michael?
We have 4 public comments. First is allegedly Audra, followed by Truth.
And please keep to the topics of the items. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. I know you did a good job being quiet this time. Anywho, so are you going into closed session after this and then we're going to take a break? Oh gosh, wow, that sucks for the people online that have to wait to speak on non-agenda. Anywho, Lauren Warren, I mean, can you imagine? This has been a long time coming. What a failure to have a whistleblower be fired for exposing fraud, waste, and abuse. How much money are we going to give her? I mean, she's probably looking for a pretty penny. You know what I mean? How many millions? Like, who knows? Maybe she can retire after this, right? Who knows? But it's just sad to see that you guys were warned about so many things and this person has had to suffer for actually exposing that. But that's the problem, is when you expose stuff, you get retaliated against. It's just the name of the game. So, but yeah, that'll be interesting in this public performance evaluation for employees. I would like to evaluate you guys, and I'd like to let you know that you're doing a horrible job. But that's my opinion. And when you're in an inverted world, it means that you guys are doing exactly what you were put here to do, which is enslave the people, lie to them, take our money, you know what I mean, spend it and then misuse it and then be like, listen, you guys, we got to come back for some taxes because we need more money from you guys, because what we did is we engaged in fraud, waste, and abuse. And you know what else we did? We fired the person that exposed that. And so we're going to need some more money to pay them off. So it's good. The United Nations is very happy with you guys. You are doing, I feel like maybe though you're not doing it as quick as they would like. And I feel like we need to just rip the Band-Aid off if we're going to just really get into this whole 15-minute, you know, like digital prison that's coming, especially, you know, because order comes out of chaos. That's why all the chaos is going on. So we can implement more things. So I just feel like instead of wasting time, let's just get straight to it, shut down the freeways, take everyone's car, put a boot on it, and then, you know, just have them be walking everywhere. So you guys can walk from, you know, North County or South County on up. It's going to be good.
Next is Truth, followed by Consuelo online.
Item 5, if it wasn't for Lauren Warren, the whole 125 toll fiasco would still be buried news. She had more guts than many people on this board did or ever will have. Item 6, those who gave the past CEO countless bonuses when he was disrespectful, pompous Soviet dictator, and literally said he didn't even want the job. Are you even mentally capable of judging anyone at all? Unlike those delusional people, I'm actually going to be honest. At the beginning, I asked people who worked with Mario what they thought about him, partly because I knew the agenda of why he was chosen as CEO. But I've always kept my mind open to give a fair chance. I've gone back and forth on my opinion. At times, I felt transparency was lacking on certain information. Example, when Mario mentioned a mystery meeting with a mystery Mexican, he never informed the directly affected parties of that information. He only revealed it much later in a Borders Committee when it was board-level information. I also considered the mystery conversations with Youth Council and the sudden mystery appearance of $6.5 million of our tax dollars from an alleged state grant to MTS and NCTD to be a very untransparent process. And I also do not approve of Mexico spending July 4th in, Mario spending July 4th in Mexico. But I have also witnessed Mario writing countless books worth of information down there on every point that everyone brings to his attention. And there have been times when necessary changes were implemented by the very next meeting. I know some of the quiet, positive changes and happenings have been Mario's work, and for that, I'm very grateful. Example, at the last Borders Committee, while out of touch, Carolina spewed outrageous lies. On the complete reverse, Mario had outstanding questions for Becky from Baja and asked for bigger picture information so committee members could actually understand the complex topic of dealing with Mexico's sewage. Without that, along with his questions, it was just me carrying understanding and questioning. So as harsh as I can be sometimes, overall, I'm satisfied with the job Mario's done so far. There's room for improvement, but this job is also a huge ask, so I'm going to give Mario a B grade. Mario's also been friendly with me and others, and the last things he said to me have actually still stayed with me, so thanks for that too.
Thank you. Next is Consuelo online, followed by Blair Beekman. Comments are related to closed session items. Consuelo, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so let's see, the closed session includes performance evaluation. Okay, so let me offer my own public evaluation. Let's see, Chair Huebner has spent more time than anyone else up here playing the victim card, repeatedly saying this agency is being forced to carry out mandates from the state and federal government. In doing so, she has admitted the truth that you're not working for the people. You're working for the global interests against the will of the communities you claim to serve. So, if we're being honest, I'd say she's doing an outstanding job, second to none, at deceiving the public. She speaks calmly, she sounds thoughtful, but behind that mask is just more managed compliance with an agenda that strips away freedom, penalizes movement, and makes life harder for the very people footing the bill. Okay, so let's be clear, everything this agency does is funded by the public, and yet SANDAG is an epic failure when it comes to reaching out, telling the truth, or even pretending to care what the public thinks, unless it fits the narrative that they're selling that day. Still, I want to end on a positive note. If we're evaluating performance on a real scoreboard, fraud, waste, and abuse, SANDAG is numero uno, truly numero uno. And any board member sitting here today who continues to enable or ignore what this agency is doing, you are complicit and you will be held accountable, not just by your constituents, but by history. Thank you.
Next is Blair Beekman, followed by last public comment, Paul the Bold.
Can I talk to you in a minute? Can you wait a minute? Hi, this is Blair Beekman. Yeah, I wanted to quickly comment. It's my feeling that, you know, for the UN, when they do their best work, it's for local communities. When they, you know, they do their reports and exams and studies and stuff for local cities, it's up to then the city themselves and the people themselves to come up with ideas and solutions of how to work the programs best, and the guidelines and the ideas, and that's the goal. And I think we can do that here at the local level with our projects. We've got a lot of different sources of input. Then we build, and that's the goal. The best intentions of UN thinking, a reminder of that. With that all said, quickly, just a thank you for this, working on this to give my own constructive 2 cents. How about the ideas of, as a metric, measure public performance, you know, ability, how your public employees are doing, accountability metrics and ideas, ways that they can be sharing and communicative. It's tough for people to be those things sometimes, but trying to offer ways to be working towards that and promoting those kind of values and beliefs in our projects and our system is important. Good luck how to find ways we can do that, and maybe can be a good measurement tool. I just thought I'd mention it. Thanks a lot.
Last public comment is by Paul the Bold.
Hi, I'm Paul Bold. Let's see, Chair Huebner, I think Maria and Lisa have fostered a feeling of openness and friendliness. You can hear it in the board speeches, you can hear it in the public speakers. Meetings are on time and to the point. Not that there are no problems at SANDAG, but I would give the chair an A. Her efforts to open up the dialogue at the board are much appreciated. And overall, Mario is doing a pretty good job. Give him an A minus. The worm case filed in 2023 is still around despite pretty simple facts as one big problem. That SANDAG has not fully confronted all of the corruption and evil from the Luqadda days and earlier. Why is the downtown stopover, the Lausanne thing, and the bikeways taking so long? The answer is lack of support, another ghost from the past. That SANDAG ramrodded a bunch of stuff down our throats, and now it has to rethink them. 2026 performance goal 2 is to provide accurate and accessible information to the board, public, etc. But the metrics are all numbers. What do these goals have to do with public trust or open communication? I mean, complaints I hear are not about the number of comments received or the visits to SANDAG dashboards. They're about timely and accurate responses to public comments. Visits to dashboards includes a lot of people who just get frustrated and log out without really using the site. And it's the quality of corrective actions, not the number. Goal number 4 is deliver a safe, reliable, multimodal transportation system, etc.
That concludes our public comment on this item, Chair.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move into closed session. So I'll ask everyone who's not supposed to be here, please exit the room. And please do so quickly. We're already a half an hour behind what we should be. And we'll reconvene afterwards to share any reportable items. No. Okay, we're ready. All right. Welcome back. I'll now turn it over to Alfred for any reportable actions.
Thank you, Chair Huebner. The board met in closed session to discuss two matters. First, item 5 on the agenda, one matter of existing litigation. Second, item 6 on the agenda, performance review of the Chief Executive Officer. Both items were discussed and there is no reportable action. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Alfred. We'll now move on to item 7, the CEO performance evaluation, compensation, and goals. We'll present both reports, then move on to public comment and member discussion. I will begin with remarks from item 5A, the performance review and comprehensive adjustment. As part of our commitment to accountability and good governance, I'd like to provide some background on the CEO evaluation process we established at the end of last year. The board's responsibility is to set measurable goals for the CEO, ensuring alignment with our strategic priorities and accountability to the agency and to the public. To institutionalize a transparent, structured, and fair evaluation process, a subcommittee was formed last year. The subcommittee included Supervisor Joel Anderson, Councilmember Melanie Burkholder, Deputy Mayor Carolina Chavez, Mayor Rebecca Jones, Mayor Tony Kranz, Mayor John Minto, and former Chair Nora Vargas at that time. Working with this subcommittee, the board developed an evaluation process that includes, number 1, a CEO self-assessment for reflection and accountability, 2, direct performance discussions between the board and the CEO, and a confidential feedback survey that gathers input from board members and a randomly selected, representative group of employees across the organization. At our December 13th, 2024 meeting, the board approved the fiscal year 2025 CEO performance goals and objectives based on this process. Today, we just wrapped up a closed session focused on the annual performance evaluation of our CEO, Mario Orso. This is something that the board takes very seriously. It is a key part of how we make sure that the agency stays on track and is well led. The review looked at a few different things. We started with the CEO performance goals, objectives, and metrics that were approved by the board. Mario provided us with his review, which included his reflections on accomplishments, challenges, and areas for growth. We also reviewed a confidential feedback survey from board members and included a representative group of employees at all levels selected at random to give us a broader perspective. In accordance with the CEO's employment agreement and established policy, if the board has considered the CEO's performance to be satisfactory, the board can consider a salary adjustment. In alignment with market trends while ensuring financial sustainability, the agency is moving forward with a 2.75% general salary increase for all employees hired before March 31st. To be consistent with this, I would like to propose that the board find Mario's performance to be more than satisfactory and to approve a salary adjustment of the same 2.75% increase to be effective retroactively to June 30th. The board appreciates Mario's leadership and hard work over this past year, more than we could even express. We also want to recognize the incredible efforts of the entire staff. Achieving these goals takes teamwork across every area of the agency, and we're grateful for everyone's dedication and commitment. Thanks to all the board members and staff who contributed to the evaluation process. Your input helps ensure it's meaningful and well-rounded. We're looking forward to building on this momentum in the year ahead, and I'll now turn it over to Mario to present his fiscal year 2026 goals.
Thank you. We'll go somewhat fast, knowing that we're short in time, and basically discuss some additional to our goals. I'm waiting to see that the presentation is set up. Basically, we came in a year ago, as I mentioned in the closed door session, the waters were a little bit rough, and the idea was to gain the trust of the board and gain trust of the public, as well as setting up some major guardrails. Can we go to the next slide? It is important to remember what our vision is. This hasn't changed. It's pursuing a brighter future for all. And our mission is we are the regional agency that connects people, places, and innovative ideas by implementing solutions with our unique, diverse communities. Can we go to the next one? Last year in September, as well as in December, I provided three goals to try to get to accomplish the stabilization period, which was oversight and transparency, leadership and structure, and focus on the fundamentals. Can we go to the next slide? Also, within the goals, I heard some very important things that the board wanted. We put in some objectives. One was having legal counsel report directly to the board. That was accomplished. We have offered here, but we are also moving on the 12-month pilot of bringing in independent counsel inside, internal. The process to hire that person is being led by board leadership. Under oversight and transparency was also very important to continue with the audits. We have achieved 60% of the punch list that we had in September, and we weathered several investigations and audits, even internal ones, external ones. On leadership and structures, we've been working on creating the senior leadership team with expertise in their areas of responsibility, as well as beginning the evaluation of how we can enhance the work with the policy advisory committees and the board. And for those who were at the exec committee, you saw that beginning of the conversation. And focusing on the fundamentals, focusing on our internal framework and understanding what our core activities are. And the major core activities are planning and delivery programs, creating those guardrails, creating those internal frameworks that would allow us to move forward. Let's go to the next one. For this year, I propose to continue with those three, focus on the fundamentals, oversight and transparency, and leadership and structure, because we're not finished with it, not even close. We have a lot of work to be done. But the conversation is also going to be moving in the direction where this agency is going. And we need to focus also with goals on delivering mandates that you will provide us. The board, and those were, I'll talk a little bit at the end, but you will have to have those hard discussions on what our priorities and what we should be focusing. That's going to require a lot of fiscal responsibility, as well as strengthening our collaborations. In the current atmosphere that we have a lot of needs with less resources, with competing guidances from the state and the federal government, we all need to band together. That's why it's so important, the collaboration between the member agencies, your cities, our partner agencies where we serve North County Transit, MTS, and Caltrans. It is going to be crucial. Those are the three additional goals that I'm proposing, which is deliver a safe, reliable, multimodal transportation system, as well as our other mandates and services. Strengthen our collaboration and ensure our fiscal responsibility and accountability goes to a higher level. Let's go to the last one. So this year, we understood where we are. What's our current landscape? We're in an inflection point. The waters are a little bit more stable. So now, where is the ship steering? And I keep saying, this is a board-driven organization. And we're going to bring in those hard conversations to all of you to make some decisions, to have some hard discussions on policies, on some of the tools that we're going to use, and the strategies. Policies can be many, right? It could be from the bike program. How do we build it? It could be the policies of how we engage. It could be the policies. It could be the reconciliation of the regional plan with the Transnet ordinance list of projects. That's a very big conversation. Policies on pricing, on managed lanes, on the 125. Those are going to be hard conversations that we need to have. Tools, taking our enterprise system to the next level, our project management system, but also other tools, right? Strategies, pursuing the legislation changes that we need in order to be able to reduce greenhouse emissions, maybe the targets, maybe vehicle miles travel. We have begun those conversations with the state and see if those are appropriate. Housing is a big issue that we need to discuss, which we have begun sending a very strong statement. You have begun, we're your instrument for that. So in the essence of time, I think it is important that we understand that this next year is going to be a very important year where the goals that we have are going to help us move forward with the priorities and the bearing that you give us as a board. That concludes my presentation. I'm open for any questions.
Thank you so much, Mario. We're going to move to public comments now, and we need to finish at 1:30. So if our public commenters, if you could choose to limit your comments to a minute, that would be appreciated. If not, we understand. We're going to go to public comments. Michael, could you please call our first speaker?
Sure. We have 5, Chair. The first one is Truth, followed by allegedly Audra.
Sorry, I'm the only one crazy enough to stay here. I don't find a focus on fundamentals to include guardrails. That seems to fall more under leadership and structure. Public trust comes from consistent measured results, which is still in flux. Public engagement is still minimal. An example of a missed opportunity is when SANDAG gave a regional plan presentation at the Santee City Council. There was no opportunity to comment toward it, nor did the SANDAG team wait around to hear my critique. I'm still unsatisfied that this corporation lacks a system for public records requests. That is a serious accessibility deficiency. Fiscal responsibility and accountability should probably be at the top of the list of priorities because some of the past contracts need to be inspected to see which corrupt political unions benefited from the past intentional lack of oversight. But a synonym for inflection point is crossroads. Those who are ready to leave the SANDAG psychosis in the past now have an opportunity to pivot to something that is closer to reality. Those who believe that means using SANDAG only as an advocating agency, ignoring the failing public transit, and implementing managed toll lanes everywhere are going to find themselves on a similar old path. You can't have multiple agencies going multiple directions and expecting things to make sense. Is the direction of SANDAG to build border crossings for a country that loots and pollutes while also whining about the tourism economy at the beaches? Is it to push for increased transit while MTS is run out of our tax dollars via mismanagement? In real life, I'm more concerned about driving being more efficient and affordable, not less via tolls and taxes, as well as safety improvements where needed, including evacuation routes, stopping the bike lanes that serve as death lanes, and ensuring public transit is safe, efficient, and accountable. I'd also enjoy seeing the ferry transportation promise be implemented, preferably at a more affordable price than $9 each way. The state plan and the pet projects mean nothing to us regular people. You guys need to figure out what back to basics means. It's like getting back to fixing potholes versus building promenades. Priorities. And so I approve and I welcome hard conversations. Thank you.
Next is allegedly Audra. Blair Beekman, followed by Consuelo online.
Hi, Blair Beekman, made it to the meeting. Thanks for the words of the board chair, how to conduct public comment time. That was very nice of you. I'll try to keep my comments short. Really good luck in the efforts towards accountability, what the steps we can be doing towards that. Yeah, I mentioned it here, the importance today of, as an example, SANDAG staff being able to be not taking such a strong position on items, but presenting items for board consideration and illumination, how to understand and make decisions on the issue. I think that should be an important goal to work towards. Good luck in those sort of efforts. Nice to hear that the overall CEO has been highly recommended. Yeah, I agree too. It's really nice to hear his work on Mexico. I think it's really important what SANDAG offers the San Diego County on ideas and working with the border that should not be overlooked. They give good direction, and SANDAG does, and it's an important direction. So thank you for those efforts and continue good efforts.
I think I had one more item that I can't remember. I was in Mexico on the 4th of July as well. It's nice that Mario was also, and thanks for your time. Good luck on your work towards accountability. That's my important goal and your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Consuelo, followed by Paul the Bold.
Okay, so gosh, this really is a circle jerk of an item. Sorry, Mario, but SANDAG, you guys will never gain the trust of the public. How could you? You continue to manipulate, deceive, calling it sustainability, calling it equity, when it's actually about control, controlling how we move, where we live, what we drive, and ultimately how free we are to live our lives. You don't build trust by forcing compliance. You don't build community by silencing dissent. You certainly don't build sustainability by restricting movement, collapsing small businesses, and creating endless dependency on state programs while pretending it's all for the greater good. And yeah, I continue to say that people are waking up and you're losing the narrative. And you know what? It's about time. So no, we don't trust you. And until you stop treating the public like cattle, tax cattle, to be herded instead of sovereign human beings with rights, you never will earn that trust. That is the truth. Kept it short. Looking forward to speak my non-agenda. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Next, our last public comment on this item is Paul the Bold.
Paul Bold, the performance goals for 2025 were better worked out. Some of the goals for 2026 do not make sense. Goal number 2, the metrics are all numbers. What do these goals have to do with public trust or open communication? Complaints I hear are not about the numbers, they're about timely and accurate responses to public comments. It's the quality of corrective actions, not the number. Goal number 4 is to deliver a safe, reliable, multimodal transportation system, etc. for all. If you want this for all, you should delete the % of Transnet corridors with work in progress and or completed. Include all highways. And you should not include things out of your control in the metrics, like achievement of legislative goals or retention rates, without further specifying something like not due to personal or outside employment issues. Please revise this plan to make sure that the metrics match the purpose of the goal that was set. But I'm glad that this time the scoring is limited to 1 page. Thank you.
Good job. That concludes our public comment on this item, Chair.
Good job, Papa.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so member comments, we have 7 minutes and we need a motion. If anybody, Mayor Dunk, I'm going to push your buttons. Mayor Sanchez.
Well, I have to say that I agree with the comments that you made, Madam Chair, that Mario hasn't just been satisfactory, which is, you know, I read the staff report that if it was satisfactory, it would be up to 2.9, that the that we've actually set aside 3.0. My motion is for the 3.0.
Can I interrupt? No, my request is that it should be just exactly what the employees received. So we did that calculation so it would be as equal as possible. So what the employees receive, I'm an employee, I should, you know,
okay.
If you've seen that, that should be okay.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But I think it's we need to send that message to our employees during these hard times.
Okay, would you like
Having
to
heard that, I'm
Yeah.
going to, you know, like change it to 2.75, but say that he's worth all of that 3.0. Thank you very much.
Very much. Councilmember Casares.
Thank you. I will second Mayor Sanchez's motion and just say thank you. Obviously, I'm very new to the board and also serving as an alternate, so I'm here or there, but you came to La Mesa and had a long meeting with me so we could talk about not just the city of La Mesa, but the history of SANDAG, since while I haven't been here, I've been watching it for years. And I think you're doing a really great job, so glad to second the motion.
Very good. Mayor Duncan?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm in support of it. I just wanted to make one comment that clearly if anybody has attended or watched SANDAG meetings and how the agency has run, how we're running and functioning now compared to a year and a half ago is night and day. I mean, it's absolutely night and day. Any other, thing that can be improved or not or whatever is one thing, but you've done very well, and I'm glad to support the motion. Thank you.
Very good. I think the accolades are all around, given what we heard in closed session. So we thank you so much, Mario, for your excellent work, building trust and accountability and teamwork among us all. I will now call for the vote. Please use your devices. Oh, we are approving the 2026 goals at the same time. Is that a separate motion? Okay, a new motion. Okay, may I have, let's finish this one up. Has everybody voted? I haven't voted. Okay. All right. Very good. That passes unanimously. And now may I have a motion to approve the 2026 goals?
Happy to make that motion.
Okay, moved by Mayor Sanchez, seconded by Mayor Gasterland. Please vote. Thank you for the reminder, Ariana. And that passes unanimously as well. We are time. Oh, yes, that's right. We're not going to get to item number 8, the flexible fleets. We have 3 remaining non-agenda public comments. Michael, please call those.
Paul the Bold. This is non-agenda public comment. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, climate change, decarb, bass and EVs are worsening wildfires and wrecking net zero effects. Maybe stop wasteful agricultural and irrigation and plastics. Most climate change is natural. Do not trap us in 15-minute cities or do extortionate toll roads because of this. The biggest greenhouse gas is water vapor. Last meeting, Marion announced a federal grant to create management lanes out of 9 miles of the CA 805 through Chula Vista and the possibility of turning it into a toll road. Chula Vista is tired of being picked on to pay tolls. Many of the residents are lower income and simply cannot afford being just another piggy bank for SANDAG. Yet the people who would use the 805 have little choice because the bus transportation there is so infrequent and dirty. South Bay should not pay. And the Lusan thing, no wonder it's such a mess. In the exec committee, we heard how the board seems to be hearing a lot from PACs and work groups, which are more likely to have vested interests in pushing their agenda. No concern for a 100-year plan. Not much concern for the people who have to lose yards, houses, or drastically reschedule their life. But what concerns me most is that if you do a 10-year plan, you will probably pay 10 times and end up with what you'd pay for a 100-year plan. It's a bit like, sorry, it's a lost my writing here. Anyway, it's
Thank
a
you,
bit
Paul.
like
Your time has expired. Next is Consuelo, followed by Blair Beekman.
Okay, so here we go. SANDAG, please stop pretending you're about equity, sustainability, or smart governance. What SANDAG really does is coordinate efforts to squeeze the public dry. You continue to impose more and more costs on people who are already stretched thin, working families, elders, single parents, and everyday drivers just trying to survive. from fees to fines to toll roads, gas penalties, bike lanes, layer upon layer of economic punishment, all while you talk about climate goals and transportation equity. This is not equity, it's engineered submission. It's exactly what the United Nations agenda demands. Cripple society into compliance, then rebrand that control as progress. And when Lisa says over and over, like a victim, that we're being forced to do this, that's an admission that SANDAG is not working for the people. They're following orders, and those orders aren't coming from us, the ones paying for it all. And let me say something else, because today you sunk to a new low, bringing in a group of teenagers to cheer on their future enslavement, using them as props for staged optics. That is a low as it gets, and it's disgusting. Those scripted students are not the majority. Again, every teenager I know are counting down the days until they can drive and have their first car and move about on their own terms, not to be forced to ride onto a controlled transit grid with the BS name of, in the BS name of climate equity. And you don't speak for them, you barely listen to them, and yet you use them to manufacture public consent. It's sick. Meanwhile, earlier this morning, Rebecca Jones calls social media a blessing and a curse. Let me guess, the curse part is that people like her and this agency are finally being called out and exposed for what you truly are. You may not like the mirror being held up, but for the rest of us, that exposure is a blessing. Okay, now.
Thank you, Consuelo. Your time has expired. Our last public comment is Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman. I do feel the young people who are here today, including myself, have a certain earnestness in how we talk about issues. We may not know the depth or certain depths of how to talk about issues, but I think we make honest attempts. Like myself with mixed income things, I don't know the depth of who's behind what's going on, but I've been offering mixed income ideas for years here at the board, trying to how you can work with Tijuana to create really interesting future, I think, for affordable housing and for people to live easier together. Good luck in those efforts. I've been talking, and thanks for public comment from The Truth, by the way, who on the previous item, I think, offered a very interesting list of how to talk about accountability for the future here at SANDAG. For myself, for this item, well, not for this item, I've been doing kind of reporting here on how protests are going and how to be addressing ICE issues. We're doing some incredibly important work in the city of San Diego to address the future of data collection, what can be good civil rights, civil protection practices with that, and how exactly many ALPR do we actually need in a city? We're questioning that seriously. It can be much reduced and yet still do the same public safety work, all in the attempts to address, that we don't need that much technology to do the same public safety services. Good luck on those efforts. There are serious protests going on that I think San Diego, actually, because of the South Park incidents a few weeks ago, a month now, we've been really asking, I feel, that they don't over-militarize the future of their raids in San Diego in the future. I think that has made some headway that I hope can be a part of future conversations for LA, the San Francisco Bay Area. By the end of the summer, I hope we really can ask, now actually, that we can ask this to stop.
Thank you, Blair. Thank you. Your time has expired. That concludes our non-agenda public comment, Chair.
Thank you, and this concludes our meeting. The next Board of Directors meeting is July 25th at 9 a.m. We are adjourned.